Hey guys, how are you? I'm here to do the extended weekly by Ascendant. I just wanted to call out one thing that I noticed after the reading was done. You know, it's about shifting perspective and thinking. And I want you to notice that this is a 51 card and this is a 15 card. And this is a 4 and this is a 6, but it's VI and IV. So it's just one of those ways that the universe sends like a confirmation of the message by another verifiable pattern. So since this week and the month, if you haven't read the monthly is all about the same thing, is about shifting up or mixing up your thinking and paying attention to signs and where things are coming from. I thought I would actually do something a little bit different. I have this deck about forms of divination and communications, and I thought I would do for each sun and ascendant where they should be paying attention to get the signs that are trying to speak to them. And I'm going to use this Abraham Hicks Into the Vortex deck for relationship advice. And then, of course, the same one I did last time for divine guidance. So let's start with Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant. And this deck will tell us where Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant is meant to look for their clues or their signs of the messages that the universe is trying to get to them for the week of April 12th, 2019. Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant. What forms is the universe using to try and communicate? Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant. Okay. Dreams. Okay, so Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant, pay attention to your dreams. That's how the spirits are trying to get to you. Now, what words of advice does the universe have for relationships for Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant for the week of April 12th, 2019? Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant, relationship guidance. And this doesn't have to be romantic relationship. It can just be your relationship with the world around you also. Okay, should I leave or should I stay? I'll read you what's on the back of this card. It's very empowering to discover that your patterns of thought do not have to follow your current situation, and therefore your current situation on all subjects can change. We do not recommend taking the physical action of leaving a relationship without deliberately coming into thought alignment with the new desires that have been born out of your current relationship. And then, whether you stay in this relationship or move on to another, you can have exactly what you desire. Okay, so what it says is first get your thoughts in order and then make the actions. Because if your thoughts are not in order, whether or not you take the step, your thinking is going to lead you back into there. So this is really to get for Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant, to get your mind and action principle in alignment before you do anything. Okay, and then look for those messages in your dreams. May we have one card of divine guidance for Aries Sun and Aries Ascendant. Divine guidance for the week of April 12th, 2019, Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant. Serapis Bay, Ascension. Move into your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. So interesting. So it's like the information that comes to you during the night is going to help you ascend into the light. So pay attention to that. And then make sure that your mind and your action are aligned. Moving into Aries with Taurus Ascendant. Start with where should Aries Sun, Taurus Ascendant, look for their messages from the universe. How's the universe trying to communicate with Aries Sun, Taurus Ascendant, the week of April 12th? By focusing, arrow. So messages will come straight to you. That's kind of the point here. Look at signs that literally point you into specific directions. Yours will come quite directly to you, it looks like. Let's take this one. So this is, I came as an extension of source energy. Messages, you came as a physical extensions of source energy, understanding that you would explore contrast, causing expansion not only for you, but for all that is. You knew that you could find your way back to the resources of your source by feeling your way and by understanding that the relationship between you and you is not one of separateness, but of alignment and resonance. When you master the art of allowing your consistent alignment with the source within you, every other relationship will be beneficial and pleasurable. So this is kind of like the God energy is within you. So be aligned within your own self to be in alignment with all that's around you. Now it's interesting because you see the two kind of things flying around. They sort of replicate each other. So it says to me, don't pay attention to everything that's around you because you might be getting distracted by a lot of the messages. Be very aligned on what it is that you want and your own process and focus on that. You see, it's like, don't pay attention to the 9,000 arrows. Pay attention to the one that's headed in a very specific direction. Now let's get one last card here from the Divine Deck. Card for Aries Sun, Taurus Ascendant, week of April 12th, 2019. Care and compassion. Choose to be loved. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Okay, so sometimes Taurus can be a little bit hard on the people around it. And on itself as well, because it tends to get into a rigid form of thinking. It's the bull. It's the most fixed sign in the zodiac because it's Earth and it's fixed. So it has a tendency to get stuck in its way of thinking. And so this is asking to maybe just sort of like loosen the reins a little bit on yourself and on other people. Let's do Gemini. How is the universe trying to communicate with an Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, the week of April 12th, 2019? How is the universe trying to deliver its messages for an Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, the week of April 12th, 2019. Confirmation. Okay, so you can look to the sky for confirmation, but it sounds like you already know, but you might have like just one thing that happens that something magical might happen that will give you that confirmation of what it is that you're looking for. But it sounds like you already know. Okay, some relationship advice for Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, please. Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant for the week of April 12th. I had like a tarot injury. I cut my middle finger from shuffling. Ooh, there it is. This card says, others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. You did not intend to use the opinion of others to measure against your beliefs, desires, or actions in order to determine the appropriateness of them. Instead, you knew, and still remembered long after you were born, that it was the relationship between the opinion of the source within you and your current thoughts in any moment that would offer you perfect guidance in the form of your emotional guidance system. So that's very interesting because, like I said, you already know, and it means you're not listening. So Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, looks like you are not listening to your own feelings. And that's where your confirmation is going to come from within your own self. So sort of trust your intuition. And look at that. Is holding on to the star right there, you see? And that's the same element. So don't get distracted by the things around you, because it's the light and the things that light you up within yourself that give you the communication of where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do if this situation is right for you. Let's get divine guidance. Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant. Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant. Okay, I'm just going to take the one. Ancestor spirit. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed right now. Okay, so this is interesting. So maybe it's because you've been paying too much attention to what your family expects from you, or what's been expected from your family conditioning, from your line of origin. And this seems like the message is clearly like to trust yourself and to stop doubting. So whatever element that whatever you've been taught to want or taught to think, it's time to trust yourself and heal that. Perhaps there's a history of oppression of thought in your family lineage. You might want to stop that with yourself by getting into alignment with yourself and trusting your own feelings and instincts. Okay, Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant. How is the universe trying to communicate with Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant? Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant, week of April 12th, 2019. Okay, take the top one. Certainty. Hold on, I just want to look at these. Okay, so that's very interesting. So Cancer tends to be ruled by the emotions and the heart, right? And what this is saying to Cancer is to pay attention to logic. It's logic over feelings this week for you. So look for things that can be tried, tested, and true. That have maybe like historical compartmentations. You don't make sure that it's the head, that your knowledge is coming from the head as opposed to just your feelings. Particularly because all that water has probably got the Cancer Ascendant and the South Node. You know, you guys are having kind of a rough moment there. So trust in your head and things that you know to be objectively true, as opposed to transiently emotional. Can I have one card for Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant for the week of April 12th, 2019? Going to take this top one. The universal law of attraction is managing my expansion. The law of attraction is the universal manager of all vibration, which expands to everything that exists throughout the universe. And so at the same time that the law of attraction is responding to the vibrational content of your physical thoughts, it is also responding to the vibrational content of your inner being. Okay, so yes, so like I said, stick with your mind over your feelings because it responds to both. And if you can get your head and your feelings into alignment, then you send out one single vibration, as opposed to how you, if you're thinking what you feel as opposed to thinking objectively, then the only thing that's going to get picked up is your emotions, which can move from moment to moment. So try and send out more of that concrete vibe that comes from things that are objectively testable. Okay. Divine guidance for Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant. Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant. Aries Sun, Cancer Ascendant, April 12th, 2019. Okay. Mary Magdalene, the teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Okay, so whatever you are certain about, it's time to get your heart and mind onto the same page about that because it's ready to come. Okay, there's a moment of awakening, and as soon as you can align the heart and the head, more the head than the heart, then things will start moving for you. Okay, let's do Leo. Aries Sun, Leo Ascendant. How is the universe trying to communicate? Okay, that was fast. Mastery. So this is literally through channeling, okay? And it may come from some external source, someone who is a master of channeling. So maybe listen to your gurus, listen to your teachers, listen to those who are older and wiser. To anyone whose title is master, someone who is in a master's, those will be the people who are going to bring you your messages. It looks like it'll come from an outside person. Can we have a card for Aries Sun, Leo Ascendant for the week of April 12th, 2019? Taking the top one. Flawed premises can attract true unwanted evidence. Uh-oh. If you were to hear a false premise again and again until you yourself began to believe and repeat it, now your own activation of the contradictory vibration would interfere with your sense of intelligence, and you would begin to attract evidence of your belief, in effect proving the false premise to be true. This is that like kind of Goebbels rule that if a lie repeated enough becomes the truth. And so it becomes increasingly hard for you to call this a false premise when the evidence seems to be telling you that it's true. For over time, you come to believe it's true. Okay, so you may have some belief that you have developed that's not true. If someone comes along and pokes holes in your theory, pay attention to it, okay? Or look for external evidence in someone that is more knowledgeable about whatever it is you're dealing with, relationships, business, blah, blah, blah. Pay attention to someone who knows more than you about that. Now, I know as an Aries Sun, Leo Ascendant, to be told that someone might know more than you is an insult. But, and here we go. Higher learning card. This is pretty tight, this reading, actually. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. So if you're thinking about enrolling in a master's program, the answer is do it. If you have spent so much time believing one thing that it might not be true, so double check with someone who knows more about that than you do. But really here is you have to open yourself up to not knowing everything, And I know that's a slap in the face for those two placements. But that's the advice. Okay. Aries Sun, Virgo Ascendant. How is the universe trying to communicate with Aries Sun, Virgo Ascendant the week of April 12th, 2019? Aries Sun, Virgo Ascendant, just the one. I'll take the top. All right, so wisdom is an oracle. If you have oracle cards, if there's some sort of person that you constantly go to that you know is wise, that is going to be where you get your advice from. It will come through sort of a godly wisdom. Can I have a relationship card for Aries Sun, Virgo Ascendant for the week of April 12th, 2019? One card, Aries Sun, Virgo Ascendant. Making peace with my today will improve my future. It may sound odd, but the fastest way to get to a new and improved situation is to make peace with your current situation. So this is some of that acceptance that we saw in the monthly one. By making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release your resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. Oh, and that's so Virgo, so this is really for you guys. But if you rail against the injustices of your current situation, also Virgo, you hold yourself in vibrational alignment with what you do not want and cannot then move into the direction of improvement. It defies law. Okay, so you know how sometimes the Virgo Ascendant can get really nitpicky? That's exactly the piece that you need to dump this week and just be thankful. So instead of saying, I wish this was more, I wish this could be, I wish, or it's not good enough, dump the it's not good enough and talk about how good it is, like what's good about it. That's going to be your shift in perspective, is that instead of seeing what's missing, you actually see what's been done. Can I have one card? Okay. The Divine Director, Intervention and Purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So that's quite lovely. Okay, so yeah, focus on that happen. Look at all that purple. So that's really the spiritual coming in. Focus on what is right, not what is wrong. Okay, Libra. Can I get, how is the universe trying to communicate with Aries Sun, Libra Ascendant, week of April 12th, 2019? By sending you crystal clear clarity, okay? May come through sudden realizations. It may come through looking through a glass. If you have a crystal ball, if you're someone who uses those, that's where you'll find your answer. But it looks like you're going to have a moment of sudden clarity where it just like hits you like a lightning bolt and then you get it. Can I have a card for Aries Sun, Libra Ascendant? One, please, for the week of April 12th, 2019. April 12th, 2019. Aries Sun, Libra Ascendant. Okay, taking the top one. Our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. And so the behavior that you elicit from your child is more about you than it is about your child. This is true of all of your relationships, but since you think about your child more than you do of others, your opinion about your child plays a greater role in its behavior. Okay, so this may or may not be about actual children. It may be about something that you treat as your baby. You know, so maybe there's a project, or maybe it's a relationship, whatever you care and nurture as if it was your child. Know that the more your subconscious projections onto that, the more it will take on that form. So you have to kind of take a step back and look at something with a little bit more crystal clear objectivity, so that it can become what it's meant to, as opposed to what you are driving it to be. Okay? Divine guidance for Aries Sun, Libra Ascendant for the week of April 12th, 2019. Take this one. Faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourselves and others, see the light in the world. So if you're kind of having like a negative moment, it would be completely comprehensible, because you two have Saturn and Pluto squaring. Actually, you're getting it on both sides, so you guys are having a really rough time. Focus on that which is good. You see how there's all this blue here? You might want to do some like voice exercises, voice meditations, things to calm you down, singing. Do some like talk therapy, expressing things that you mean to say, but try and focus on the positive as opposed to the negative. Let's do Scorpio ascendants.